It is the year 1912. Inside a dusty Jesuit library in Villa Mondragone, Italy, an old chest is opened by a Polish book dealer named Wilfred Voynich. He rummages through faded codices, brittle parchments, forgotten manuscripts, when his eyes fall on something extraordinary. The book before him is unlike anything he has ever seen. Its vellum pages are covered with strange writing, curved letters, and looping characters that do not resemble Latin, Greek, or any known alphabet. Between the lines of this undecipherable script are bizarre illustrations, plants that exist nowhere on Earth, astronomical diagrams that defy reason, naked human figures immersed in greenish pools connected by pipes and channels, as if they belong to a dream rather than to science. Voynich turns page after page, and a realization chills him. This book is written in a language no scholar has ever encountered. It is not a code he can recognize, nor a cipher he can easily crack. It is a book without a language, and perhaps without meaning. Yet it feels deliberate, methodical, purposeful. The manuscript is heavy in his hands, both in weight and in the mystery it carries. Centuries old, bound in an unassuming cover, it seems to whisper secrets of a lost world. Voynich could not have known it at the time, but this discovery would ignite one of the most fascinating enigmas in the history of cryptography, linguistics, and human curiosity. This strange artifact, now known to the world as the Voynich Manuscript, remains unsolved more than 600 years after its creation. Despite the efforts of the greatest minds, cryptographers from World War II, modern computer scientists, and historians of all kinds, no one has been able to read it. And the central question remains: who wrote the Voynich Manuscript and why? To understand the Voynich Manuscript, we must step back in time, long before Wilfred Voynich stumbled upon it in 1912. Radiocarbon dating has placed the parchment of the book somewhere between 1404 and 1438, placing its creation firmly in the early Renaissance. This was an age of rediscovery and transformation. In Europe, scholars were dusting off the works of the ancients: Aristotle, Galen, Euclid. Alchemists and physicians sought secret formulas for health, immortality, and the transmutation of metals. The stars above were believed to shape the destinies of kings and peasants alike. It was also a time when books themselves were rare treasures. Paper was still a luxury, vellum costly, and every manuscript demanded laborious hours of hand copying. To create a book as long and detailed as the Voynich Manuscript required not only great effort, but also significant resources. Whoever commissioned or authored it was no ordinary figure. The early 15th century was also the golden age of coded writing and secret knowledge. Hidden societies of scholars exchanged letters filled with ciphers. Alchemy, medicine, astrology, and botany were often cloaked in layers of metaphor and symbol, as much to protect the secrets of nature as to avoid accusations of heresy. In this cultural landscape, a manuscript written in an unknown script does not appear entirely impossible. Perhaps it was a secret notebook, designed to hide precious medical knowledge. Perhaps it was the work of an alchemist, hoping to encode the recipe for eternal life. Or perhaps it was a hoax, a brilliant illusion meant to impress a wealthy patron. The manuscript itself contains hundreds of pages divided into 6 apparent sections: botanical, illustrations of plants, most of which are unrecognizable, astronomical, diagrams of stars, suns, moons, and strange zodiac wheels, biological, drawings of naked women bathing in interconnected tubs connected by pipes, cosmological, mysterious circular charts and geometric designs, pharmaceutical, drawings of herbs, roots, and containers, recipes, pages of text divided into short paragraphs, as if instructions or notes. Each section seems to suggest knowledge, yet none of it can be verified, because the script in which it is written remains undeciphered. Thus, the Voynich Manuscript was born in a world both open to knowledge and eager to guard secrets. A world where science, magic, and faith blurred into one another, and where the boundary between truth and deception was perilously thin. And so, the mystery deepens. Was this book the product of genuine science hidden in code? Or was it an elaborate illusion meant to deceive the seekers of hidden truths? When Wilfrid Voynich opened that chest in the Jesuit library in 1912, he likely did not realize he was holding a puzzle that would outlive him. Voynich himself was a man of intrigue, a Polish revolutionary who had escaped imprisonment, a rare book dealer who roamed Europe in search of hidden treasures, and a figure who thrived in the shadows between scholarship and secrecy. He immediately recognized that this book was no ordinary find. Its vellum pages, still surprisingly well preserved, contained more than 240 folios. Its text, filled with unique glyphs, was written with a confidence that suggested fluency in a genuine language. Yet, no known alphabet matched its forms. Voynich purchased the manuscript along with other volumes and quietly brought it to London. Soon, he began to promote the book not merely as a historical curiosity, but as the most mysterious manuscript in the world. He showed it to experts in languages, medicine, and cryptography, and even hinted that it might be the lost work of the 13th century scholar Roger Bacon, the English philosopher who had written extensively on alchemy and natural sciences. If true, the book would be priceless. But this bold claim sparked skepticism. Was Voynich genuinely convinced, or was he carefully crafting a story to inflate the manuscript's value, the manuscript's early guardians? The Jesuit order had held the manuscript for centuries, and before that, it passed through the hands of prominent figures. Letters found with the book suggest that in the 17th century, it belonged to Georg Barisch, a Prague alchemist who confessed his frustration at not being able to understand it. Later, it was sent to Athanasius Kircher, a Jesuit polymath in Rome, famous for his obsession with deciphering hieroglyphs. Even he, despite his reputation, failed to crack the code. From Kircher's collection, the manuscript eventually reached the Jesuit college, where it was locked away until Voynich uncovered it, the first attempts at decipherment. After 1912, the manuscript captured the imagination of cryptographers. Voynich himself believed that the book contained hidden knowledge of medicine and botany, and he sought scholars who could prove it. One of the first was William Newbold, a professor at the University of Pennsylvania. In the 1920s, Newbold announced triumphantly that he had deciphered the script and discovered microscopic shorthand symbols within the letters. According to him, the text revealed advanced scientific insights, including the use of a microscope centuries before its invention. But soon, Newbold's theory collapsed. His microscopic symbols were nothing more than cracks in the ink, products of age rather than design. His reputation was ruined, and the Voynich manuscript remained silent. Still, the mystery grew. Each failure only made the book more alluring, as though it were mocking human intellect with its perfect secrecy. The 20th century was the golden age of cryptography. As the world plunged into wars, governments relied on brilliant minds to crack enemy codes, turning linguists and mathematicians into soldiers of intelligence. The Voynich Manuscript, with its strange alphabet and unbroken secrecy, was the ultimate challenge, a puzzle that seemed tailor-made for the best code breakers alive. World War code breakers enter the scene. During World War II, the United States recruited some of the finest cryptanalysts in history. Among them was William Friedman, the legendary code breaker, who would later help decipher Japan's purple cipher and lay the foundations for modern cryptology. In 1944, Friedman and his team turned their attention to the Voynich Manuscript. If anyone could read it, it would be them. They approached the book with the tools of wartime code breaking, frequency analysis, statistical modeling, comparisons to known languages. At first, patterns emerged. The Voynich text obeyed certain linguistic rules, letters clustered in predictable ways, words repeated, and the text showed the rhythm of natural language rather than random symbols. This suggested that it was not meaningless gibberish, but rather a constructed language or cipher. Yet after years of effort, Friedman admitted defeat. He concluded that the book might represent an artificial language, something like a code designed not to hide meaning, but to invent meaning. If so, the mystery was even deeper than anyone imagined. The rise of modern Voynichology. Throughout the 20th century, scholars and amateurs alike took their turns at the manuscript. Some argued it was a medieval hoax, a book designed to impress wealthy patrons with the illusion of secret knowledge. Others believed it was a lost medical compendium, encoded to protect its recipes from unworthy eyes. In the 1970s and 1980s, computer analysis began to take over. Linguists fed the Voynich text into early mainframe computers, testing its structure against known languages. Astonishingly, the manuscript showed properties consistent with real human languages, word length distributions, grammatical-like repetitions, positional rules. This only deepened the enigma. If it was a hoax, it was one of such sophistication that it simulated the statistical properties of language, centuries before computers could measure them. The seduction of the impossible. The manuscript became a mirror for its interpreters. Alchemists saw alchemy in it. Botanists saw botany. Astrologers saw cosmic charts. Each reader projected their own desires onto its pages, as though the book were a canvas of mystery, reflecting the obsessions of those who studied it. By the late 20th century, the Voynich manuscript had gained a new reputation. It was not just an unsolved code, but the Mount Everest of cryptography. To conquer it meant intellectual immortality. And yet, every climber had fallen short. The mystery of the Voynich manuscript has endured for centuries because it resists every attempt at certainty. Where facts fall silent, Theories multiply. Scholars, dreamers, and conspiracy seekers have all proposed explanations, some grounded in reason, others drifting into fantasy. Theory 1. The master hoax. One of the most persistent theories is that the manuscript is simply a hoax, crafted in the Middle Ages to impress a wealthy patron. If so, it would be a triumph of deception. Meaningless text made to appear profound. Strange drawings made to look like scientific diagrams. This theory gained strength from the historical context. Medieval Europe was filled with charlatans who sold potions, promised gold through alchemy, or claimed knowledge of the stars. Creating a book in a mysterious language could easily fool a noble eager to purchase secret wisdom. And yet, if it was a hoax, it was astonishingly sophisticated. Modern statistical analysis shows that the text follows patterns indistinguishable from real languages. Could a medieval forger truly have generated such linguistic complexity centuries before the science of linguistics even existed? Theory 2. A complex cipher. Another school of thought insists the book is a ciphered text, hiding real knowledge beneath layers of code. In this view, the strange alphabet is not an invented language, but a substitution system designed to protect secrets. But here lies the problem. The greatest code breakers of the 20th century, armed with the same tools that defeated Nazi and Japanese wartime ciphers, failed to uncover even a single clear phrase. No key has ever unlocked its pages. If it is a cipher, it is either far more advanced than anything known in the 15th century, or it hides knowledge in a way we have not yet imagined. Theory 3. A lost language. Some linguists argue the manuscript may be written in a natural language that has since disappeared. Perhaps it was the tongue of a small community, extinct before scholars could record it. In this case, the Voynich Manuscript would be the last surviving testimony of a forgotten people. But critics counter that no script has ever been found that resembles its alphabet. Its letters seem unique, neither borrowed from Latin, nor Greek, nor Hebrew. It is as though someone invented a new language and a new alphabet simultaneously, a feat rare in human history. Theory 4. An outsider's mind. There are those who suggest the manuscript might not be about hiding knowledge at all, but about expressing a mind outside the norms of its time. Perhaps it was the work of a recluse, a mystic, or even someone suffering from a mental condition that drove them to create their own private language. In this view, the book is a psychological artifact, a diary of a mind that needed to invent its own words to speak to itself. The plants, stars, and women in the drawings could be symbols of an inner world rather than real science. Theory 5. Alien or supernatural origins. And then, as with all great mysteries, we reach the outer edges of speculation. Some claim the manuscript was a gift from another world, its unknown script belonging to extraterrestrial visitors. Others whisper of occult origins, a grimoire written in the language of angels to preserve forbidden wisdom. Such theories are rarely taken seriously by scholars, but they reflect the book's aura, the feeling that it does not belong fully to our world. The Voynich Manuscript stands at the crossroads of all these theories, a hoax too perfect, a cipher too unbreakable, a language too unique. It resists every label, defying us to decide whether it hides knowledge or only the illusion of it. Why does a single undeciphered book continue to fascinate the world after more than 6 centuries? Why, in an age where machines translate languages instantly and supercomputers analyze patterns faster than any human mind, does the Voynich Manuscript remain untouchable? The answer lies not only in the mystery of its content, but in its symbolic power, a mirror for human curiosity. The Voynich Manuscript is more than parchment and ink. It is a mirror that reflects our deepest human impulses, the desire to know, to decode, to conquer the unknown has always driven civilization forward. Each failed attempt at reading it does not diminish its power, but increases it, reminding us of the limits of our knowledge. In this way, the manuscript represents the eternal frontier of understanding. It whispers that there are still secrets in the world, mysteries that science has not yet claimed, a catalyst for cryptography. For cryptographers, the Voynich Manuscript has been both a challenge and an inspiration. It has forced experts to refine tools of analysis, to test the boundaries of code breaking, to develop new methods. In the 20th century, the hunt for its meaning shaped parts of modern cryptology. And even today, artificial intelligence models are trained against it. Each failure becomes fuel for progress. Even in its silence, the book teaches. A pop culture icon. Beyond academia, the Voynich Manuscript has slipped into popular imagination. It has appeared in novels, films, television, and video games, often portrayed as a cursed object or a grimoire of forgotten magic. Its strange illustrations, plants that belong to no earthly garden, women bathing in impossible waters, cosmic wheels, make it feel like an artifact from a dream. It is easy to imagine it as a book of spells, a gateway to forbidden wisdom, or the diary of a lost civilization. In this sense, the Voynich Manuscript lives on as a modern myth, standing beside the Ark of the Covenant, the Holy Grail, and Atlantis. It is a legend in ink. Why it still matters. Perhaps the greatest impact of the Voynich Manuscript is that it resists closure. In a world addicted to answers, where information is instantly available, the manuscript insists on mystery. It teaches patience, humility, and awe. It tells us that some questions may never be solved, and that this, too, is part of the human journey. The Voynich Manuscript rests today in the Beinecke Rare Book and Manuscript Library at Yale University. Sealed behind glass, its pages carefully preserved. Scholars still visit it, scanning every stroke of ink, hoping for a revelation. Computers churn through its symbols, searching for patterns in the chaos. Amateurs post theories online, each convinced they hold the final key. And yet, the book remains silent. It refuses to give up its secret, as if mocking every mind that dares approach it. But perhaps that is precisely why it endures. Its mystery is not a flaw to be corrected. It is its essence. The Voynich Manuscript may never be deciphered. It may forever remain a book written in no known language, a voice from the past that speaks but cannot be heard. And in this silence, it becomes something greater than knowledge. It becomes a symbol of the unknown itself. When we look at its pages, we are reminded of the vastness of human ignorance, of how much has been lost, and of how much we may never recover. But we are also reminded of the beauty of that ignorance, the thrill of chasing answers, the fire of curiosity, the wonder of not knowing. So the manuscript continues to call to us, century after century. It whispers in ink that cannot be read, showing us plants that never grew, stars that never shone, and words that no tongue has ever spoken. And perhaps the real question is not what the Voynich Manuscript says, but why we need it to say anything at all. Because, in the end, its greatest message may be this: some mysteries are not meant to be solved. They are meant to be pursued. If the mystery of the Voynich Manuscript kept you intrigued until the very last second, imagine how many other enigmas from history are still waiting to be told. Don't let them slip into silence. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your theories in the comments. And share this video with someone who loves a good mystery. And remember, sometimes the questions are more powerful than the answers.